I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yes.
Cowabunga, baby.
Fuck!
Where'd my tie go?
It's
Not here.
underneath your shirt. You put it around your neck and you button your shirt.
Yeah.
Oh!
There it is.
I was like, where did it go? All right. Sorry. I didn't show up to work on time, boss. So we are live. Oh, by the way, hold on. Let me make sure this gets over here. You may not have known that. Do it live, Sandler. Oh, look at that. You're all over it, James. Sweet. So we should be on the right channel. Welcome to Sandler Live. What are we doing today, guys? We're calling on some activated leads again. We're gonna surprise you, or are we gonna do it right this time, or what's going on?
Well, I don't want to answer your question because I'll answer it wrong. So whatever you want us to do.
Hey, look, this is a swoop.
Dude, anything that you tell us, we will do it, Ryan. You set the stage.
Okay.
You make the first call. You show us how you want us to do it, and we will follow.
Oh, am I making the first call today?
Just to lead by example.
All right. Well, now that I'm all buttoned up for you guys.
There you go.
Check your LinkedIn stream, Ryan. I don't see it going through.
It's not. It's not on my main account. It should be on the Phone Ready Leads account. So if it's not there, hold on. Yeah, we're live. So what you guys want to do is push. Wait, hold on. Who said that's a replay? I just saw Jake's face. Hold on. I thought we solved this. At least I did. Oh well, we're on the other channels right now. So let me play with this in the back line, and why don't you guys get going? Let me see if I can troubleshoot this on the backside and start the calls. We are. Yeah, YouTube is live. Yeah, so should Ricer Consulting, Twitch, all that stuff. But it should have been streaming to the page. And if you guys want to jump in, let's get into the calls. And let me see if I can get the technical stuff sorted out here.
So your profile, it doesn't have it live, just so you know.
Yeah, it won't be on my profile. It's technically against my new contract. You know, I've got a endorsement contract. So we have to push it all to push it all to Phone Ready Leads, but it should be there. Let me see what's going on. Let me troubleshoot this. Cool. I'll be there in a second.
Okay. So Jake, give us a quick overview of what the heck we're gonna do, and then I'll start dialing.
Okay, so today we are gonna call some more activated leads. And I'm excited because last time we got 2 appointments and we only made like 4 or 5 calls. So that was pretty awesome. Ryan has a new methodology to revolutionize cold calling, and we're excited to be a part of it. So Ryan, any last thoughts before we dive into the calls? Any advice you want to give us or a new script you'd like us to test out for today's calls?
No, just a reminder that where the difference between calling a cold lead and calling an activated lead is that somebody has already called on your behalf and presented that initial introduction around really the same variation of what you were saying before, like, hey, these are the problems we solve for X, Y, and Z. Does any of this ring a bell? And instead of you asking for me to say, you know what, would it be okay if we send you a little bit of information and we'll follow up? So these are leads that have opted into that request, and you're going to follow up on them. You're not calling a cold lead anymore. There should be some sort of awareness, and it's not 100%, but there should be some sort of awareness like we experienced last week with the brand or the action. But keep in mind that when it's a cold call, regardless if the lead itself was cold or warm, when you call somebody and they don't know who you are, there is still this psychology happening in someone's brain. Like, who the hell is this? I don't know you. Right? I don't know who this is. Even if this was someone who came to my website, requested some information, and I call you, that's still technically kind of a cold call. So what we want to show here is we still follow a similar framework in terms of the let's just call what it is, the alba pause, right? You should just pause, but then once they kind of get into it, you're not presenting a cold offer anymore. You're going to say, hey, by the way, you may have heard from my colleague, if it's you, Jake, right? Or Dan.
Right.
Dan, you've heard from one of my employees. You want that status, right? And let's see how that plays out, because we're not cold calling in terms of their awareness phase, but we are still cold calling in terms of they don't know the CID, they don't know who your name is yet. So that's the thing that you have to understand here. There's always this pattern we're breaking, and we're strangers, right? We're strangers interrupting them.
Cool. I love
that's
it,
the thing
dude.
that we want to. That's the thing we want to break through today.
Okay.
Where's the event?
Hey, hello, this is Jason.
Hey, Jason, Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well. You spoke with a colleague of mine. I had one of my employees reach out to you, and I don't know if that name rings a bell, Sandler Training.
Remind me, who did you say you're with? I apologize.
Sorry, my microphone on my phone's a little weird. Sandler Training, we do consulting and sales training. And you spoke with
Yeah, no, somebody did. I'm really not interested in anything right now. I was being polite. I didn't want to just hang up on someone. But yeah, I'm really not interested as it stands.
Makes total sense.
Someone sent me a copy to your website. But you know what? I don't want to be, like, I'm in sales too. So I try not to be rude to people and hang up. But at this point, I'm not really interested.
You're rude when you don't tell the truth.
Going fine. I don't see and right now I've got a couple of business partners. I've got a couple of advisors. I've got other people that I work with. You know, if and when we did need something, maybe I could reach out to someone. But I'm being polite more than anything.
Oh, we appreciate that, Jason. Well, Jason, last thought, and then I'll let you go, is part of the reason I reached out is I saw his note, and I was like, I don't think he was very clear. And we obviously don't want to put a square peg in a round hole, but the idea was why I reached out was to see if you or one of your business development reps wanted to come as a guest to one of our workshops and come learn some best practices. If there's value there, maybe it opens the door to a conversation. If there's not, and so I don't know if it would make sense for me to email you some of the details for one of our events, come learn some best practices, find some other companies that with staffing.
No, I'm good. I'm good, and I'm straight now. I hung up on another call to answer yours because I didn't know who was coming in. But I've got other stuff I've got to handle. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jason.
Anyway.
So this is exactly what we're talking about, right? So just because it's an activated lead does not mean it's a like ready to call, but at least you can get deeper into what's going on here, right? Interruptive communication. I don't know who you are. Is it a brush off or not? I don't know. Dan does an incredible job of, obviously managing that conversation. What most reps will do, and this is where SDRs and AEs battle all the time is, and we shared this on the last session, right, Dan? We pulled up the conversation from the guy who's like, oh, I told him no, but yet if you pulled up the call, it was actually positive. Sometimes people are this way. And the difference between what we're doing with activated leads and what everyone else will do is when someone's like, oh, yeah, when you say that, is that because you're being, you just want to be nice to me, or you really want the information. Like, that's kind of like I don't know. To me, if I'm cold calling you and you say something like that, I basically want to give you the middle finger. In this case, we can compound the conversation, get to where we need to be. But how many dials was that today? One? Was that the first call? One
First
call,
call.
one conversation, in and out. Let's go to the next one. It's okay. We got what we needed to go. We'll go. And that's the idea here. Let's keep it going. But I fixed the technical difficulties. We are live on LinkedIn now, and all we need to do is make sure people know that it's on the Phone Renter Leads live, not the my main page.
Brent Stevens
is unavailable.
Hi, you've reached Chris Stowell. I'm not at my desk at this time. Please leave your name and number. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much.
You guys are both very stoic right now.
This one's Jake's. Jake, here you go, buddy.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Sorry about this stoicism there, Ryan.
That's okay.
This is Western Valuation Advisors. To reach your party, press 1 for Steve Nicolatas, 2 for Peter Agripides, 3 for Nick Boyer, or 0 for the office manager Robert Millar, or for Jeff Nash. Thank you.
So what I needed to know right now is, Jake, how do I get that double Windsor knot? Because
Dude, I'm going to show you at the end of the meeting. We'll do a little tutorial on how to tie this tie.
yeah, because that's like super pro. I've always wanted that big old fat one. I always get this skinny.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated messaging.
one. Do you know the difference
got
between
you.
the names? Do you know the difference between the names? Is like a double Windsor, a single Windsor. The
Yeah,
Swift
Jake knows
Golden.
all about it, Ryan, okay?
Yeah, I'm a tie expert. This is neither of those, actually. It's one that a buddy showed me. It's a cheap way to do the double Windsor.
For scheduling and
Okay.
sales, please press 1. For service, press 2. For parts, press 3.
Who are you calling into? Sounds like another barber shop.
In St. George, Utah.
I do need to
For
get my hair
scheduling
cut.
and sales, please press 1.
I should-
For press 2. For parts, press 3.
It says press P. What does that mean?
That's operator. So is there an option to navigate to the operator that went through the operator?
Thank you for calling Intermountain Golf Cars in St. George, Utah. For scheduling and sales,
Yeah,
please
just
press
just
1.
just go to the next
Service.
record. You don't know how to you don't
Okay,
know how to
well,
Thank you for calling Intermountain
Gosh.
Golf Cars in St. George, Utah.
Just
Scheduling
just hang up on the next one.
oh, it's calling through. Here you go, buddy.
Sometimes I feel like I have to go all the way back to the basics with you guys. Like, you want me to show you? You want me to show you how to use that? Here, let me just show you.
Told me to press up, but
Hold on.
it didn't work.
Hold on. This is press. When it says press 1, it's this key here. Pound. It looks like a little tic-tac-toe box. You remember that? That's a pound. You remember that?
That hurts.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll take this one.
Okay. Dan's taking over. No.
Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
It's ringing. So I gotta have to send this in. This is from earlier, but James, maybe you can display it. Why we get excited about what we do, guys. How would I do this? Probably like this.
All right. Back to you, Jake.
Hey, is this Jake?
Calibration Solutions is Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. Wasn't sure if Tom's floating around the office, is he?
No, he's not. Can I take a message?
Yeah. I guess would it be best for me to give you my information, or maybe can we do his voicemail? What's easiest for you?
Why don't you give me the information, because he doesn't have a voicemail. He's a contractor for us.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Generally, I'll connect with, either I guess like someone that handles like sales development or business development for the company, and maybe I just got the wrong contact. I guess is someone in the office that
Business partner. What was it you're wanting to sell?
So yeah, I believe you had connected with one of my colleagues, Sandler Training. I'm not sure if that rings a bell.
No.
Okay, I think he called just maybe a couple days ago, maybe last Friday.
Okay.
So
Now he has his own business, so you're probably going to want to try to just contact him. Maybe he was interested in your services.
yeah.
It's called Tomlin Group.
Tomlin Group. Okay. And do you have a direct number for him? I'll give him a call.
I have his cell phone number. Let me see here.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
I don't know if he'll answer. He's kind of crazy when it comes to answering the phone if he doesn't know who it is. So just leave a message.
Sure.
It's 801.
Okay.
Leave me out of the equation.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your help, Debbie. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Okay, we're calling the cell.
She said you used a partner. It's a little bit of a unique thing.
Yeah.
So what does the time note say on the notes, guys? Because somebody called, talked to him, and he said yes. So like somebody transferred through ahead of time. It wouldn't have required the navigation
So it looks
like
like
this.
on the notes, it said Debbie was the one that answered last time as well.
Debbie answered?
Yeah.
Okay, let me review that. I'm gonna go send that to the.
Don't review it. I don't want.
Oh yeah, I'm reviewing it.
But we will call the cell phone while you review.
Don't review it. I don't want bad things to happen.
Please leave your message for
Dang it.
Next, reports.
This one's mine.
You got this.
Thank you for calling Scanning Revolution. Please listen to our menu options.
One of my niches is scanning.
For scanning service inquiries, press 2. For support, press 3.
Barbers, photographers, scanning, ice sculptors.
Ice sculptures only for cruise ships.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, you literally didn't read the notes on that, Jake. It literally says in the notes that he's
Dan,
Hey, Dan.
Scanning Revolution. Sorry I missed your call.
Oh, you guy goof. Jake, literally in the call notes, it says that guy's a contractor now, and in the notes it said they asked for who would be a better point of contact, and Debbie went on to say maybe she is. You should have just skipped the call. That's why the notes are there. Next. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not very good at reading.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, back to Jake to redeem himself.
Let me redeem myself right now.
Or use the notes. I know you're maybe on another computer. So.
This is Amy.
Hey, Amy, I was trying to see if Ron is still floating around the office today.
He is not. He's out of town, but he is working. I can send you to his cell phone.
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay, hold on.
Hello, this is Ron.
Hey, Ron, Jake Alba.
Jake, how you doing?
Hey, doing well with Sandler training.
Okay.
So, not sure if that name rings a bell or not.
It doesn't. No.
Okay. I believe one of my colleagues may have reached out and sent over some information. I'm not sure if you got an email or a survey from him.
Not that I remember.
Okay. Well, I guess would it be okay if I briefly kind of explain why we're reaching out, and then you can let us know if it makes sense to have a conversation?
Another time might be better. Right now, it's not a great time for me.
Okay. Yeah, I know that we called the office and they transferred you over to your cell phone, so I'm sure you're probably in the middle of something. I guess when
I'm actually driving in downtown Houston right now, so.
Oh yeah. Want you to be safe. When would be a good time for me to try back? Later this week or next week?
Yeah, next week I'll be in the office all next week. I'm out of the office the rest of this week. So.
Okay. Would it be okay if I gave you a call maybe next Tuesday? Maybe around the same time?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay. So I'll put you down. Are you on Mountain Time as well?
Yeah. Mountain
Okay.
Time, yeah.
So I'm going to put you down as a 3 o'clock just reminder, and I'll shoot you an email. Is the best email to Ron at irhusa.com?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'll send you that invite with some information. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Drive safe. Look forward to talking to you then. Bye.
All right. See ya.
Was this Ron?
Yes.
Okay. I want to pull up the previous call like last time. I want to see what happened before. I have no idea what happened, but I just want to diagnose this with you guys.
Cool.
Let's see what happens because I like to see how these compounds happen. You just got to follow on. We'll see if he keeps brushing it off or it's like a legitimate conversation. I love this stuff because it's all about learning, right? So let's see what happens. If I play this right now, how do I do this again? I need to share my screen, right? Is that right?
Click the box. That says share audio.
No, that's Zoom, guys. Zoom.
It's on this too.
I don't see it. Where's share audio? Share audio?
Yeah, when you share the screen, it should let you.
Okay, actually, we did this last time. Dan, can you share your screen? Let's go into this one more time because you apparently know how to do it. Maybe it's my but share your screen real quick. I'll walk you through how to go back to the previous call. And I want to hear what happened before that. And then Jake, when you follow up, here we go. go ahead and go to call history. And then, is it not working? There we go. Go to details on that very top line. And Jake, did you disposition that call in the call that just happened?
Not yet. Let me go ahead and toggle that.
That's not a big deal. You don't need to do that yet. Wow, you've got a lot of windows open. So go down to the bottom of that screen real quick. And it was Ron, right? Click his name, Ron Montgomery. And then it's going to pull you into his profile. And we're going to look at the call. There's going to be like a call recording tab. And if you could play that over the top, I just want to hear. Yeah, there you go. Call recording. No, there you go. Call recordings, and play the one, the earlier one. So that happened. It's been a while. So this happened. On
March
March 30th.
Hey, Brittany, this is Brittany giving you a call with Sandler. I'm looking for Ron Montgomery. Is it around?
Yep, 1 moment.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Matt. Dan.
Hello, this is Ron.
Hey, Ron, this is Brendan giving you a call with Sandler. How are you today?
Good.
Well, you're not expecting my call, sir. This is the first time I'm reaching out to you. Did you have half a minute I can share why I'm calling?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So really the purpose of the call is to get a few minutes on your calendar so we can properly introduce ourselves and the company. That way I'm not calling you out of the blue like I'm doing today. Would you have some time this week or next?
Tell me what you do.
Yeah, no worries. Sandler, are you familiar with us at all?
No.
Okay.
You have to tell me what you're selling.
It's okay, no worries. I'm not really trying to push any type of sales call today. Really just trying to see if you got some time on your calendar. But that's not a problem. Let me get right to the point for you. So many of the business owners and sales leaders that we work with are often saying that, they need new appointments scheduled, or they're worried about dwindling market share and increased competition, may have found that prospecting really has become a little bit more difficult recently, and or they're just not making headway on company goals. But I'll stop there and see if any of those topics resonate with you.
To be honest, I don't think it's something that we're going to be interested in going and, spending our time with. So I'd hate to waste your time.
Yeah, no worries. What I was going to say is maybe the best way to introduce ourselves would be to send you an email with a quick overview of what we do, along with a survey of challenges other business leaders are facing, just to see how you stack up and where you may be in with that alignment. And if you see if there's something relevant, we can definitely circle back around to coordinate a brief introductory conversation with one of our consultants. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, perfect. Well, what's that best email for you?
Ron, R-O-N.
Okay, you can stop it. So Dan, this is where, like, when we look at the notes and when you're looking at the follow-up on this, so this is for people to understand how this process works, is you can listen to that call and be like, okay, he didn't have a high level of interest, but he opted in. So maybe he's being the nice guy type of thing. But what would you learn from that call that would allow you to either progress or DQ? And this always comes back to the list is the strategy. Are these people that you want to do business with or not? A level of interest might, in this case, be like, okay, I heard how this sounds. Maybe I'm not interested at all, and maybe I'm being nice to receive the information. But one, are these people that you absolutely want to be talking to? And then two, based on the delivery there, you hit on those points. They didn't trigger on anything specifically, but we got there. Like, we could look at, did they engage or not? Would you follow up? Now, if I'm a rep and I heard that call, I probably wouldn't have made that follow-up call. Like, he had a low level of interest. That's going to marketing. That's how I would have responded to that lead. But for you, Jake or Dan, if you saw that, I'm not in a meeting, I'm going to go into my queue. I want to have my next best call. Well, we know this guy picks up. He picked up before. We just saw he picked up again. How do I progress that conversation in any way, shape, or form? One, are they a good fit? Two, what do I do with that information? That's the value of this process. And clearly, when I hear that call, there wasn't that matched, right? The last one didn't match. That one matched what he said. So that's also feedback I'll bring to my team around. Like, that's not really when you ask if they're like, no, I don't think so. just getting them to opt in after the fact isn't what I would consider an activated lead necessarily, but he still is just getting it to like opt in case. So, anyway, to me, that's
Right.
not an activated lead, right? That was just like nah, let's go. We'll provide that feedback. But what do you guys do with that information? And it always goes back to the list, which we talk about a lot in the show with you guys. Like, are these business owners that you really want to be working with? And is there anything you can gather from that or not?
I think part of the magic and what's unique about what we consult on, and that is a lot of it has to do with people's belief systems. So we'll find out later on this week. One of our recent cold calls we've done on this live show is the guy said we're crushing our quota, but you can always do better. And now he's paid us to assess his team. We built
what? Hold on. You converted one finally?
We'll say they paid us to assess the team.
Wow. So coffee is not just for closers; it's also for Sandler sales, eh?
I don't know.
That was a terrible joke.
I think part of it too is we can nitpick and say where the rep was wrong on the call, but for me, I'd rather call someone that I know answers and is like, sure, I guess you can send me stuff. That's still better to call than something that's ice cold. That's like doesn't even answer.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, that particular call, if I'm coaching on it, right, like that was not by definition what I would consider an activated lead. An activated lead should have been, we called them, we delivered that initial value proposition, and they really truly opted in. That was more like, yeah, can I send you some information anyway? Like that's wrong. So we're going to coach back on that. I'm sending a note right now. So that's not one I would consider it. The other one that we did last week, where the guy clearly said in the call, like, actually, I have some pain, and he was worried about like the recruiting stuff. And then when you picked up, he's like, oh, I told the guy that I wasn't that interested, that it didn't match. This one matched. So, I mean, that's a coachable moment back to the activated sales reps. Anyway,
Cool.
Keep going.
And I think one other quick thought is sometimes AEs do this. They're like, that lead was crappy. Marketing gives us bad leads. But you can go call an ice cold list yourself, or you can call a list that we know they answer the phone and maybe they'll have a conversation. But part of that is matching your skill. A guy like Jake calling it that has good pattern interrupts, good mini upfront contract, good 30-second commercial. And so I know we're splitting hairs a little bit on that one call, but compound that. If you had 10 of those conversations, maybe what rate would you convert those to conversations and meetings? I like what Al said. Maybe the rep could work a little bit, a couple on those little techniques. What's unique about this Townsend approach, Ryan, that you've showed us, is a massive pattern interrupt out of left field. Be like, yeah, the purpose of my call is to schedule the meeting. And their brain is like, what on earth do you sell? And that's why that approach works. So at surface level, it looks really weird, which we've never seen it until you showed us. But the same framework that Sandler uses of a pattern interrupt, many different contract, the technique's working because of a psychological pattern. And once you learn the patterns and the psychology, then you can see why different approaches work. And in a moment, I'll put in the chat one of the events we have coming up that basically shows that structure. But I think, Ryan, you've probably had a lot of people give a lot of opinions, but from your view, you've got a pretty good sense of what works, what doesn't work from the data. So anything else you'd add from the data standpoint? Look at the data.
So here's you guys see some of this stuff, but here's a comment from Algot. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be nice. And we heard this twice now today. It'll be nice. But there's a part of coaching on our side, which we'll clean up on some of these that are coming through on your side, where when I call it an activated lead, like it shouldn't be a pressure into it. It should be like, yeah, that's generally interesting. Let's get into it. So there's some drop off there, and there's always going to be this function of recency, right? The compounding of this makes a lot of difference. So if I called you yesterday and you expressed a level of interest and I call you back today, well, we're solving for two problems. One, you do pick up the phone. And if you are a target that I want to do business with, if I'm a true salesperson, I don't really care so much about whatever somebody else had activated. It's, to me, I know you pick up the phone. So now you're picking up the phone again. I have my shot on goal. So I might address that conversation in a different format versus like bringing up a previous conversation if I still want to do business with you. The second one is if you express a level of interest and I gain some insight, then I want to compound on that insight. But that's my perspective on this stuff. There is so many people who will basically take a reaction before being heard as gospel, and timing is the most important piece in this entire equation. If target's right, like this is someone you think you can help. And yesterday you might have been busy, you didn't hear what I said, and I said one thing. Today you say something different. That's both positive and negative, by the way, right? And we've seen that on the show. What we're trying to optimize for here is how quickly can you get into conversations with people you want to do business with, and how do you start to progress them through by gathering information, building awareness, and then solving for timing. That's what this whole process is all about.
Love it. And we saw last week when the lady's like, "I'm so sorry I didn't do that survey," and we're like, "What the heck?"
I got another one. Justin and I just did yesterday.
Thank you for calling the Cooling Company. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time.
So Justin and I just did this yesterday where
for a dial and indirect, press 1.
Guys like, hey, I'm on your site right now. Send me some information. A lot of people be like, oh, that's a brush off. I can show you the email where literally once he received it, he loops in 3 other people from his team and the meeting's scheduled. So
it's not a valid extension. Please try again.
Half a dozen in one hand, another. It's understanding the situation. And again, going back to the one we just listened to, I would not consider that an activated lead. That guy just brushed it off fairly quickly, and we didn't get past it. So your value proposition didn't resonate. What I would have done if I was that caller, I'd be like, hey, that's fine. Have a good day. Just exit to the next conversation.
Please try again.
We're trying to get people that we're panning for gold here, right? We're trying to get people who are saying, yeah, actually, that's kind of interesting. And then get in and get out, and then put it in the hands of the professional caller on the follow-up.
Kind of nervous.
I've been nervous this whole session.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
This is it, guys.
Hello, this is Richard with Associated Business Technologies. I am currently unavailable. Please leave your name, number, and a voicemail, and I will call you back as soon as possible.
Oh, shoot, went to voicemail.
Pretty sure if you left a voicemail, you probably would have definitely got a call back, Dan.
Hey, Matt, Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training.
Who?
Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training. One of my employees reached out to you about Sandler. I don't know if that name sounds familiar at all.
Sailor Training?
Yeah, Sandler Training. Does that sound familiar?
I think I've gotten the emails, but I'm probably not interested in the middle of another conversation. So,
okay.
You're welcome to email me other stuff you have, but I'm probably not interested in any sort of management training or consulting at this time.
Perfect. Can I ask you one last question, Matt?
Sure.
Would it be okay if I explained, here's what we do, and if you know a company or a business that may have need of something like that?
Send me an email and maybe take a look at it.
Okay, cool. I'll shoot you an email, and then if you don't mind, reply kind of yeah or nay if it's worth discussing. Appreciate it, Matt.
Yep, bye.
Again, so this is one where I would not consider that. So the difference between someone like that, that's like, oh yeah, sure, send me an email, blah, 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 right? Like that's very different than opting into it. So I want to play that one back too. I want to hear how that first call went because I'm assuming. Let's go into the call history. Let's play it back. I want to hear what happened ahead of time. I'm assuming it was the same thing. This is a person who every single time you call them is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm busy. Go into it. So what can we learn from that? And let's take a step back and go, hey, if I'm the sales rep, the professional seller, one, is this the person that I actually want to talk to? Right. This is a big conversation we've had with you guys for some time now. Like the person on this list should be like, if I got them on the phone, I'm freaking salivating because this is somebody I want to do business with. Right. So I have them on the phone. What did I learn from that previous interaction so that I can take it to the next stage? So let's play back the other call and see what happened. My guess is this guy probably stiff-armed that rep too, and he's calling it an activated lead. I'll clean this up on the back end so we can keep getting these a little bit cleaner. But let's play it back and see what happens.
Well, this is Matt.
Hi, Matt. This is Steve Robinson. You're actually not expecting my call today. This is the first time I've tried to reach you. Do you mind if I can take half a minute and I can share why I called?
Is this a sales call or is this?
Well, I mean, the purpose of my call was to get a few minutes on the calendar in the future to introduce my company. I was hoping to put something together for next Tuesday or Wednesday.
I have no idea what you do. So why don't you send me an email? I'm on another meeting here that's getting started, but you're welcome to send me an email.
Okay, I can absolutely do that then. Thank you, Matt. Have a great one.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. So that wherever this back was, it's a back channel. Jake, are you going? Or James. Oh, there it goes. No, I'm still hearing myself. So again, that is not an activated lead in my definition. So there's some training on our rep side. Like that's a fucking brush off, right? You've got to get through to this concept of they heard this idea of completion, right? The pattern interrupt. I heard what you had to say. And then we want to activate it through like a level, again, panning for gold. That's not happening in both those calls. However, if I'm you, Dan or Jake, and I have that lead, it comes up in my queue and it says, this is an activated lead. I have the previous conversation. I have the notes. This guy says he's busy. He said, sure, send me an email. That's a freaking brush off, right? That wasn't a real activated lead in my definition. But what do I do with that? One, is this somebody that I actually want to salivate to get on the phone and have a conversation with because I think I could help them or not? That has to be true. If I'm a seller, that's all I want to call. Okay, so we solve for that. They get on the phone again, and then if you hear the same response, you can you could do something with that, right? And Dan, you did a pretty good job, except you went for like a referral versus, can I ask you if this is relevant or not versus like him, that type of thing. Because he's like, probably not, maybe no, whatever. You should have the conviction to say, I can completely understand why you might not think that, but do you have a question you could ask or a reason why you think he might want to rethink his positioning as to how you can help him? Like if you don't have that, if you don't have that conviction, why are you calling him in the first place? That is what I get so like I'm here. I see comments and all this stuff from people, and it's like, again, they don't get what's going on here. One, we got people who are supposed to be in our swim lane who pick up the phone. Two, do I actually want to help them or not? And if you're like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, don't call them. Like that. If you don't have that conviction that this is somebody that you can help, because you're not going to get by it. Right. That's the point here. And I wouldn't call those activated leads, by the way. That's just a phone ready lead. So both of those are not, those are false positives. We'll clean that shit up, but that's the truth.
And I like your point too, which I definitely limped on that one. That's great coaching. If there's enough conviction, it's like, no, you don't get it. This is what we do, and let me explain it. But you're not bus rolling someone. You're just bringing conviction to the call. That guy's just a little unique because he's so direct. There's no space. Like anything. I mean, I'm surprised he's like, yeah, you go ahead.
He's a professional objection handler to get you out the phone. He's a phone picker upper who tells every single person, yeah, just give me an email. I'll look at it. And then most sellers are like, oh, great. Like this is why when you probably train on people and they do the objection, are you just saying that because you're nice? That's a bullshit response there. The conviction response is like, hey, that's not a problem. I'm going to send that to you, but when's a good time for me to follow up to determine if it's a fit or not, or something of that nature. Not, what can I send you so that it's relevant? It's like, no, you know what's relevant. I'm calling you because. So sure, I'll get it to you, but when would be a good time for us to discuss this? Might be a response there. It's a lot better than most of the time when someone tells me that they're being genuinely, you know what I mean? Like, that's the difference between brush off, and he's a professional stiff armor. That's what he does. Like, he picks up the phone because he probably does a lot of business over the phone, and he brushes off salespeople that are weak for a living. That's what he does.
Hi,
That's
this
his
is
persona.
Apple Events and Sales Director at the Youth City Fair Park. I must be away from my desk.
So as you guys are pulling these up, I like to, again, make sure you guys are looking at the notes too, because some of these are obviously they're not by definition what I would consider active. Like the one we had last week, Dan, where it was the opposite. That was the activated lead, right? He had expressed pain. You sent some information. You're following. These ones today, those are not what I would consider a true activated lead, right? So when you're looking at the notes, I don't know if you see some of that stuff. Another thing we could do, because people pick up enough, is we could even play the calls ahead and see if it's even worth making the dial, and then maybe use that information. That'd actually be kind of a fun exercise for the next couple. Click in, and then have that prepared for the call before we go, because our connect rate's high enough where we might not get them, but at least we're getting content on the calls ahead of time. And then we could play activated or not activated, right? That could be our game, and maybe the people that are participating can raise their hand, yes or no, and put themselves on the wheel to win. You guys want to do that for the next couple?
Ryan, how do you skip a call if I don't want to dial it without
Share
clicking
your
the
screen.
dial?
Share your screen. You can't, because you're in a lead stream. So share your screen. I think you have it shared. Just dial and then hit just skip call. Why are you skipping it? You've spoken to him before? Just skip.
Call it.
Just making Jake talk to him. Never mind. Change your mind.
I got this.
You see it?
Don't,
You see
don't take the brush off, though.
Yep.
Mountain West, this is Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, I was trying to connect with Jordan. Is he floating around?
He is not in today.
Okay, how about Craig?
Let's see. I'll see if he's available. Hold on.
Thanks.
Want at the price you want when you need it. We maintain a large and varied inventory in all locations, allowing us to service our dealers next day in nearly all our markets. We provide our dealers with access to many name brand consumer electronic names, including Sony, Samsung, LG, Yamaha, Sonos, and JVC. Representing more than 100 elite brands for smart home, security and alarm, 12-volt car audio, and custom home theater consumer electronics, we are ready to serve you. Thank you for calling Mountain West Distributors. Our friendly staff will be with you shortly.
They are pretty friendly, aren't they?
Established in 1964, has served for almost 60 years.
Is this a? Do you guys have like a back channel? What's going on right now?
Craig's not picking up. Is there a message I can give one or both of them?
Not too big of an issue. I guess, is there like a direct line you can send me their voicemail, or if not, I can always try back. If you think they'll be in tomorrow, I can try back.
Yeah, Jordan will be here tomorrow, so let me shoot you over to him. So.
Okay, or you could give him, yeah, whatever's easier. That's fine.
Okay, hold on.
Thanks.
Jordan?
Is not available. At the tone.
Okay, so
right.
this time, Dan, pull up the next record. I want to see what's going on here. Pull up the next record. So it's Pam. Now go into the back end of the backside of this. Grab the phone number. Grab the phone number. Copy the phone number in that in the top. Yep, right. Copy that, and then go into the backside of the app real quick, and search by phone number. Yeah, you know what you're doing now. Phone, click it in there. And do you see, then you can grab the record. It should be Pam. Click and go to the previous call, and let's play that. I want to play it before we dial it, and let's see, is this activated or not activated? I want to play the game of activated or not activated. And if it is, let's then make the call. If it's not, let's just move on. But we're actually getting a live call called
Thank you for calling
coaching anyway, right? This is kind of a fun way to do this.
You may enter it at any time. To act
You could probably fast forward into the conversation
Please
for a
enter
little
the
bit.
first three letters of your
Fast forward into like.
I like this part.
This is actually going to be like a really good way to do this moving forward because it'd be fun. You can fast forward through the ringing.
My travel sites, this is Pam. How may I help you?
Here we go.
Hi, Pam. This is Luis. How are you today?
I'm good.
Hey, good. Good to hear. Hey,
He's not even entering the right way. This guy needs coaching already.
I'm trying to reach you. Do you mind if I take a half a minute and I'll share exactly why I called?
I'm in the middle of something big, but is this solicitation?
Hey, Pam. We're just trying to introduce my company to your company. Have you heard of my company, Sandler Training? Are you familiar with this at all?
No, but if you'd like to send me an email, I'd be glad to review it. And
Yep.
Gotcha. Hey, Pam, are you still at palm.godling@gotravelsites.com?
yes, that's correct.
Awesome. And just to make sure this is relevant, that way I don't waste your time. Here at Sandler Company, we've been talking to a lot of business owners and sales leaders that we work with, and they're pretty much just telling us they need new appointment schedule or word about them dwindling market share in this competition. Any of these, or they even found out that prospecting has become a little more difficult. Any of these topics resonate with you guys?
No, not right at this time. We're in the middle of a giant project that, everything is good right now. So, but send me your information. Like I said,
Activated or not activated? You can cut it. This is not an activated lead. That was a terrible call. We're gonna coach on that in a minute.
Don't coach the reps, Ryan. Please, they're just young.
He didn't follow the script from the beginning. He was tens and two timing it. This is the name of one of my old reps. But that's not an activated lead. He didn't get through. She gave him no all throughout it. He never really got to a point where there was conviction. So that's not an activated lead. So let's get to the next one. Let's follow the same process. And there's no point.
With your permission, and feel free to say no, can Jake still call this lady and book it to prove that skill?
Well, no. So perfect. So now let's have him call Pam, but use the information that we had before. So that's the whole point of this, right? So what would you do? Is Pam still a relevant prospect? Is Pam a title at a company you want to talk to?
Yeah.
What's her title? Are you salivating? Is Pam?
She is a sales leader, vice president of sales, and we do sales training with CRO.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and follow up there and see what happens, because that's perfect, right? So I would not call this an activated lead, but Pam is a PRL. So let's take that back up. She is a phone picker upper, and let's see what happens now. What happens when you have that call? But I would use that information.
With your permission, do you want us to compound this one or not compound it?
No, I would start clean. That's probably not even a memorable call, to be honest.
Roger that. Jake, you're up.
Let's go.
Don't screw this up.
Thank you for calling the Go Travel Sites. If you know your party's extension, you may enter it at any time. To access our dial by name directory, please press 0. For the Go Travel Sites, please press.
Welcome to the directory. Please enter the first three letters of your party first name using your touch-tone keypad. Use the 7.
Pamela Gotling.
Tight beats.
If this is the person you are looking for, press 1 now. Otherwise,
I know you can do this.
I'm so nervous. Hey, this is Pam.
Hi, this is Pam.
Hello.
Hi, you've reached Pamela Gotling. Apparently either away from or on another line.
All right, let's land the plane. Next week we're gonna play activated or not activated, and then we'll play do we use it or we not use it, because I really like that format. This is gonna be a lot of fun because we can coach on the previous call, figure out if it really is something of value or not. Because there's some, I'm gonna go clean this stuff up before next week, so we'll get real activated leads into your account. Justin and I will go and coach up the reps that are running that campaign for you guys, but all of those were not activated leads. Like none of those were today. Those those are pure brush offs. And the whole point of panning would have been, we just got them out, or because you could retreat them as a phone ready lead, but they're not an activated lead. If you're going to make the call, I would call back as if it's cold versus like trying to compound that, right? So let's play that game next week and see what happens. We're wrapping up the plane here. We've got the headset giveaway. Boomstick. I got my new one. You guys see that?
How'd you get a new one so fast, Ryan?
I paid for express delivery, you know. Got my new headset back. Headset giveaway. We got chats in here. We got them on the spinner for people who have participated. If you chat in the last couple minutes here, something you learned today, of course, we're always happy to ask field questions at this point as well. But chat in. We'll get you on the spinner. Winner gets a copy of Outbound Sales No Fluff and a copy of Sales Development. These are 2 of the top 40 sales books of all time, according to Book Authority. Not me, although I would say that's a little redonkulous as a rating. But in any case, I'll give you a signed copy of those books as well as the Boomstick headset. Put them in. We'll put them on the wheel. We got a couple people that have already participated. Any questions, comments, feedback, and then let's do our final thoughts, huh? We got 2 minutes before.
Everyone in the chat, type in your lesson learned or big takeaway. But a lot of this, we're just showcasing the skill of the idea of here's the technique, but here's the why behind why it works. So type in the chat your lesson learned. Your name will get on the spinner. And Ryan, while we give them a minute to type things out, I think a lot of this, as sales rep, people play the blame game a lot, like marketing's not giving me leads or my SDR sucks. But what I love about what you're doing is this idea of painting for gold is we're just sifting through junk and then calling a smaller field that's gone through a couple hoops. And I love what JC put, conviction or don't call at all. You know, that's Ryan was right too. My guy was pretty cut to the chase, Charlie, and like, make it quick. What's this regarding? And I hedged versus bringing the conviction. So definitely an area for me to make sure is dialed in. Jake, what are your final thoughts while people put in the chat their lessons learned?
Final thoughts would be this this stuff that Ryan is creating is pretty cutting edge. Like, no, I've never heard of anyone doing it. I think it's a new concept and it's being proven live, right? Which is a little bit vulnerable, but at the same time, once this gets dialed in, right? Because we literally are like kind of doing some done. It's going to be incredible. So I think there are few kinks right on both sides, like our approach, as well as, you know, some of the reps getting those activated leads. But once it's like perfected, it's going to be primo stuff.
Yeah, and on my side, guys, it's the age old response, right? Solve a problem or go away. So while we're panning, we're trying to seek out, is there a fit in some way, shape, or form? 1, we know they pick up. We got some information. But 2, do they have a problem or an interest in education, or are they willing to learn something new? Are they open-minded to have a conversation around what you do? And if they don't, then get the heck out, right? There's no point of continuing to hammer a lead unless you, again, conviction, as JC said, and what we just talked about here. The basis is solve a problem or go away. If I passionately, genuinely believe that my organization can help yours in some way, shape, or form, I want to be able to have that conversation. And what we're showing here to live, 1, the biggest thing is people who pick up again, right? So that's phone ready leads. We'll get conversations started. The second piece is it's on you as the seller who's making this call to gather the information necessary to determine, 1, do you actually look and feel like a fish that I can help, or quack like a duck, etc. And if so, let me show you how I can help you. And it's a cold call, so it's very difficult to get all of that out. Last week, we showed that somebody actually shared the information, had a problem, and then we got the information out. We followed up, and then he said something different. This week, it was the opposite, where it's like, you know, we got the information out, which shouldn't have gotten there, and we come back, and it's like there's this mismatch, right? But that mismatch will happen It's on us to figure out target message channel timing. So solve a problem or go away is huge, and we've got to be able to get that as soon as we can, and then compound that as quickly as possible so it's top of mind. I would say that we've got a format that can help us get some information in a really interesting way. I'm excited to get this going. Let's spin the wheel. I've got to drop, guys, to another meeting.
We spun the wheel. The winner is Al God Sorensen. Al, direct message Ryan your address, your physical address, and
email address, physical address. I'll get you your prize. Thank you, guys. I got to jump.